Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again. I am here to check in. I just completed the first round of the No More A-Holes class, and I just wanted to report in a little bit on how that class went. And then I want to talk a little bit about what it's like to do YouTube and what my experience has been. I feel like just sharing my journey might be kind of fun, and I don't know if it's interesting, but we'll see. We'll see if anybody's interested in it. So, first of all, I just want to say that the class I think went really well. It was the first time I taught it, and I, of course, will evolve it as I go. But I think the ideas that I had for it really went well, and that there was a lot of value in it. And again, I gave it the name No More A-Holes because I really wanted to have it ring true for people. And I think that it did ring true a little bit. I mean, it definitely generated some interest as far as interest goes on my little channel. But it just kind of says, like, I resonate with that. And that's, I think, what you have to do to try to get people engaged. But it's not really a class about blaming people or making people wrong or saying that there's this group of people that are horrible and ganging up on them. It's not at all about that. What it's about is that when you have patterns in your life that draw people to you that aren't really what you want, then that pattern is attached to you. And so, if we can discover what's underneath the pattern and why it keeps repeating, then you can free yourself from that pattern and then you have more power. So, it's really a class about empowerment, like taking back your power and deciding what you want and then creating that in your life and not being the victim of anyone or anything. And most of the time in our lives, what we try to do is we try to change the world outside of us, and we just do it over and over and over again, and it never works. And what I've discovered in my own life is that change comes from the inside out. And when we change the inside, what we see on the outside changes. And so that's really what that class is about. And I think it went really well. I want to teach it again. And my plan is to teach it again starting on September 10th. So if you're interested, the next class will begin on Wednesday night, September 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you'd like to talk about that class or have a free call with me to get more information, please feel free to reach out. Everything was on my website. Also, here on my YouTube channel, you can watch the videos that cover the different it's a 4-week class, so what we cover in each of the weeks. And I look forward to anyone who is interested or might want to take that class. I'll also, I think I mentioned this last time, is that I'm going to be doing a few other classes. A class on grief will be coming up soon. I'm just going to be pulling that together soon. So, grief and loss, and that could be around losing a family member, a loved one, a friend, an animal. It could be on divorce or ending of a relationship or any other kind of loss in life. Sometimes it's losing a job, losing a career, losing a sense of purpose. It could be a lot of different things. Grief is something that we go through anytime something big changes in life and we have to readjust. And so that is really what that class will be about. And then I'm looking to teach a course on abundance as well, and really looking at abundance in a different way. Just really looking at what is it underneath abundance that makes us feel like we have enough or like we're in lack, and how we've been programmed regarding abundance in our lives. So that is going to be coming up as well. So now I want to just talk a little bit about YouTube. And as I do that, I realize that I was looking in my own eyes instead of looking in the camera. So there we go. There is one thing. And as I watch myself back, because I edit my videos or I want to just make sure that my videos are okay. And I try not to edit too much because it becomes this laborious process and then I don't get videos made. And I already am not the best at making videos. I have to push myself pretty hard. And I'm trying to learn to relax and just share and to not let myself be stopped by my own fear of that I'm not doing a good job or whatever. And I stopped doing them and then I let my fear get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I finally push through it and I start doing videos again. And then I stop and I start and I stop and I start. And then I go back and listen to them and I notice all the ums and all the so's and how glum they sound sometimes. Did you ever have a college professor that was so dry? Or a high school professor? I think I remember a history professor or history teacher in high school that just was so monotone. And I've noticed that my videos are very monotone and very boring when they start. So I need more energy, but I I've been the kind of person that has too much energy in my life, and so I'm trying to rein it back and be a little more deliberate, but then they get really boring and really monotone. I'm trying to do the Eckhart Tolle where you can add a little silence because silence is so powerful, but then they become super boring, whereas his don't seem that boring. So I'm looking for that authentic place within me, but also wanting to speak clearly, to eliminate some of the filler words that I use, to eliminate my nervous laugh, and to just speak from my heart and do it in a way that is me. And so, if you have ever thought about doing YouTube or doing something that's outside of your comfort zone, which this is, I encourage you to do that because it's really hard. And it's hard, especially because you do put yourself out in the world, and there are people who love to criticize. And so, even though the majority of people usually will be encouraging and like it, there'll always be critics. And I was just talking to a friend today and who gets 99.9% positive feedback, but gets that one critical thing. And isn't it amazing how we focus on the critical thing? Like we think we need to be perfect, and it's okay to be criticized. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay that somebody doesn't like what we do. Because if we worry about what other people think, especially that tiny little percentage, then we're gonna drive ourselves crazy. But it's also a lesson because whenever somebody criticizes us and it hurts, the only reason why it hurts is because there's something inside of us that maybe believes that about ourselves or feels defensive or something like that. And it's okay to feel that way. Of course, we feel that way, but we need to neutralize that. We can neutralize that defensiveness by just loving ourselves anyway and saying, yeah, maybe I say so too much. Maybe my ums are super annoying. Maybe that little laugh I have that is my nervous energy is really annoying, but I'm trying to do better. And I get it that I'm being criticized. And that hurts. I don't want to be criticized. I want to be perfect. But nobody's perfect. So I think I'll just be me. And you know what? That gives other people the freedom to be themselves and to not do it perfect and to make mistakes. And what a beautiful world it would be if we could all just accept ourselves, even when we're not perfect. So I just wanted to share with you my journey of YouTube, and I hope you'll forgive me for not looking at the camera. But I'm going to leave that there because it's part of my journey. And hopefully, I will get better and better at this. And 3 years down the line, I'll come back and watch my beginning videos and laugh and feel embarrassed and see how far I've come. And that's a beautiful thing because if we went back and looked at when we were learning to walk, it would be ugly, right? But we don't judge our babies when they're getting up and they're falling down and they're hitting their heads. So why are we judging ourselves? We're just learning, we're just growing. So go out there and do something that you're afraid to do. Be uncomfortable because you know what? It can be fun. And sometimes it's fear and sometimes it's excitement. And sometimes it's fear that turns into excitement. So I want to make my videos a little more fun with a little more energy. And I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on my so's and my ums and my you knows and my nervous laugh. And I'm going to do the best I can. Have a great day. It's been great visiting with you, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.